Hey, yo, who's up gaming their subs? Click the link in my description or use code DRAKE at checkout for a sexy discount on the highest quality gamer subs you can buy. Oh, you filthy weeb. Hey, who said that? Those people pay our rent. Greetings, adventurers, and welcome back to the Den of the Drake. Other dragons hoard gold, while I hoard internet cringe. You know, some people have been saying that D&D has lost its teeth lately. Me. I'm people. But just because I'm not a huge fan of filing down every rough edge into an uncannily smooth pile of nothing doesn't mean I can't appreciate some newer developments in the RPG space. One of my favorite is the improvement of romance. Yeah, I love a good love story, but those tend to get real awkward real fast, which thankfully is something that we weird-ass nerds have seemed to have figured out. And let's just say the vibe around romance arcs has shifted in a way that is significantly less of a nightmare for everyone involved. But just because the culture as a whole has shifted doesn't mean we haven't left some weirdos behind in the Dark Ages, or met some new weirdos who've made sleeping around their entire reason for playing the game. So how about we go and meet some of these fantastic weirdos, shall we? The story I have for you today stars a player who's so into the idea of D&D romance that they hijack the entire game and turn it into his bard's personal dating sim. And the worst part, the DM is in on it. Now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and dive right into the horrifying world of r/RPG horror stories. Enjoy. This week's story comes from Reddit user Salada Warrior and is titled, I joined for an epic fantasy campaign. I got a bard-centric dating sim instead. About 2 to 3 months ago, my friend and I joined an online game on Discord that was supposed to be combat-heavy, story-driven, and taking place in D&D 5e. The DM talked a big game about tactical combat, meaningful exploration, and long-term goals for our characters. Instead, I spent 4 sessions stuck in a starter village watching a bard roleplay every NPC into bed, while the rest of us sat around waiting for anything to happen. The players in this story were me, female asexual human paladin focused on service and justice. Wizard, my IRL friend, played a studious human wizard. He is more of a quiet type, but extremely enjoyable to play with. Halfling rogue, nice enough, but easily distracted. Tiefling bard, self-declared lover of all things living. DM, claimed he had 10 plus years of experience running games. Session 0. Promises. This campaign actually had a Session 0, which made what followed even more disappointing. The DM gave us a decent pitch. This game will be a mix of tactical combat and world exploration, with RP opportunities to follow your character's personal goals. Expect 60% action, 30% travel and survival, and 10% downtime in social scenes. So, what are your character's goals in this world? We each explained what we were hoping to do with our characters long term. I wanted to make a chapel and help the poor of the land. The wizard wanted to make a magical library. The rogue wanted to make an underground black market network that connected all the cities in the realm. And everyone seemed on the same page. Until the bard said he wanted to run the most famous and desirable brothel in the kingdom. The DM laughed and said, That'll be interesting. We'll make it work. Session 1. Solid start, sudden cringe. We opened with a goblin ambush on a trade route. Cool, clean, and simple. I held the front line, the wizard tossed some cantrips, and the bard actually used bardic inspiration like a team player. I thought, maybe this will work out. We reached a small village to regroup. There, we were told a young girl had been kidnapped by goblins, which was a solid quest hook. While I was asking around, a barmaid randomly hit on my character, suggesting that we relax upstairs together, and then invited the bard to join. It was out of nowhere and immediately weird, especially since I already established my character was asexual and not interested in relationships. I said no, both in character and out. The DM just chuckled, shrugged, and moved on. Session 2. Bartering and flirting while the plot dies. The rogue decided she needed more gear before we could pursue the goblins. Reasonable, until it turned into a 90-minute haggling scene over rope, caltrops, oil, food, and ball bearings. She asked the shopkeeper about the tensile strength of the rope, tried to haggle down rations by complaining about mold, roleplayed swapping lockpicks for a future favor, and asked for an artisan-crafted flask of oil. The DM played it all out in excruciating detail. Meanwhile, the bard was back at the tavern, seducing the barmaid and getting bonus stew for being charming. The DM was loving it. The wizard and I kept trying to steer us towards the goblin camp. The DM told us, "They are still having fun. We'll get there." We never did. Session 3, Interrupted Plans and Unwanted Propositions. 3 sessions in, still in the same village. I finally found a scout NPC who had seen goblin tracks in the forest and started planning a mission with him. I was genuinely excited, finally a moment to actually do something productive. Then the bard wandered into the scene and, as usual, tried to seduce the NPC mid-conversation. The scout, apparently swayed, turned to me and said, "Maybe we could talk strategy over drinks. You, me, and your gorgeous friend here." The DM laughed, the bard laughed, and I sat there stunned. I said I wasn't interested in character and out, and tried to steer things back to the actual mission. The wizard made an excuse to leave early and disconnected from the session. Then they messaged me privately, "I'm seriously considering leaving. This is going nowhere, and the DM seems to only care about Bard and his cringe flirts." I convinced him to hang on for one more session, saying maybe now that we have the scout, we have no reason to stay, and we'll be able to follow the lead. I wish I hadn't. Haha, guys! The bard is horny! Ha! Do you get it? It's funny because he's playing a bard that wants to have sex with everything. Isn't that such a fun and not at all awkward and tedious character? God, I hope I never have to live in a world where bards exist to do other things that aren't having sex with everything that gives off a hate signature. Fuck! So, I don't know if you were able to tell because I am a master of subtlety, but I hate when classes are reduced to stupid stereotypes. 1, because they are so boring. 2, they stopped being funny after the 70,000 times Reddit shat out a meme about it. And 3, because they're often only used as an excuse to be an antisocial jackass. Notice how none of these stereotypes are actually beneficial to the health of the party. The edgy murder hobo rogue exists to disrupt the setting and NPC interactions. The lawful stupid paladin is needlessly obtrusive and stops other party members from playing the way they want to play. And the horny bard just makes everyone uncomfortable and disrupts the plot. There's nothing wrong with playing into a trope, they are tropes for a reason. But why does a class with high charisma get reduced down to just simply is able to have a lot of sex? Charisma has a lot more applications than facilitating coitus. Salespeople, comedians, politicians, cult leaders, f***ing influencers are all examples of the charisma stat being used and abused in other ways that are not just wiggling your pee-pee into cramped spaces. I'm using the bard as a punching bag right now because that's the subject of this story, but the same logic applies to the other classes and their tropes. You can be super strict about following a code without the code being the fantasy equivalent of police brutality towards your fellow party members. And you can be a criminal mastermind without stabbing every unprotected kidney and helping yourself to every unguarded coin purse. Don't be boring, don't be a dick, don't make your entire character a stupid trope that Reddit told you was law. After all, it is a well-documented phenomenon that there is an inverse relationship between how much a character wants to get laid and how much their player actually does. Exhibit A, the rest of this story. Session 4, Brothel Investigation. We were still in the same town. The bard suggested that we investigate the local brothel for clues about the kidnapped girl. Yes, seriously. The DM, of course, went along with it and gave a full monologue describing the velvet curtains, the diverse cast of workers, and the various theme rooms. The bard invited all of us to join, and we all refused. I said, "We already know where the goblins are located. We have a guide and gear, and there's literally no reason to delay the mission more. And if we waste any more time, the girl will probably die." The rogue and wizard agreed and asked the bard to please just come with us and do the quest now that everything is ready, and made more arguments to just go do the job. Until the DM interrupted. DM: "Well, since he's the only one wanting to go, I will do his scene quickly in the brothel." So for the rest of the session, the DM only roleplayed with the bard as he flirted with brothel workers, fished for rumors and pillow talk, and made vague innuendos about unlocking hidden plot lines. The rest of us, me, the wizard, and the rogue, just sat there, muted, waiting, doing nothing. After the session, the wizard and I left the group, and the rogue messaged me that she left a few sessions after saying the bard got weird towards her character too. If it was just that, it would have just been a somewhat cringe table or whatever. The reason I'm posting this is that a few weeks ago the tiefling player messaged me, since apparently we still are in one of those random looking for players servers in Discord with thousands of people, and this allowed him to DM me since I only blocked the DM and not him. He said that he and the DM were trying to make my character stop being asexual, because they thought it was kinda stupid and unrealistic for any creature not to have sexual desires, and explained that they loved my tough, tall mummy vibes from the character. After I left, my character changed religions and became a priestess of the god of love. He had tons of NSFW art he commissioned and wanted to share with all the players that played in the campaign. Apparently, the campaign kept going with new players. The art was mostly of my character, dominating him in a threesome with the barmaid, one was with the scout, and the other art was with random NPCs, where she broke her chastity belt using her bare hands. Apparently, the rogue and wizard were not spared from some of the NSFW treatment and also got sent weird art. We immediately blocked and reported him to the server administration for harassment. TLDR. DM promised a game full of combat, adventure, and goal-driven story arcs. What we got was 4 sessions stuck in a town, watching a bard roleplay every NPC into his bed, while the DM encouraged it. The rogue bartered for rope and caltrops for over an hour. The wizard and I left when it became clear the only real plot was build a brothel the campaign. We later received weird private messages from the bard. End of story. Well, going off of what I said in my last rant, I rest my case. Swiftly and with force. Directly into the back of the bard's head. Ew! But credit where credit is due. Taking on the pervert bard stereotype to the point of taking it out of game and into interactions with other players that aren't even playing anymore is a whole new level of commitment to the bit. And I'd have to say I'm pretty impressed. But it's much more likely that this dude was a filthy gooner from the beginning and the horny bard thing was a symptom and not the cause, which is significantly less impressive. Actually, wait. Hold on. Yeah, I've talked myself out of it. Homie deserves no credit. What the dude? Yeah, I shouldn't have to say this, but please don't pay another person to draw DeviantArt tier fetish fuel of other people's D&D characters. Sure, it's not illegal or anything, but when I become president, that's the first executive order I'm passing. The second is pushing Rhode Island into the ocean because that is not an island and it's too small to stop me from correcting its mistake. But putting aside my plans for a hostile takeover of the United States aside, no one has the right to turn you or your character into objects without your permission. So you definitely did the right thing by blocking both him and the DM here. Let me tell you how shocked I am to learn that the DM was in on this the whole time. I am utterly shocked and definitely appalled. A pervy player harassing you is one thing, a really gross thing, granted, but a DM doing it feels a lot more malicious to me. Like this guy set a trap to attract players for the express purpose of feeding them to this guy, and that feels downright predatory. I'm happy that you got out, OP, and I got my fingers crossed that your next campaign mates don't have such tastes in artwork. But you know who has absolutely peak tastes in artwork? The people who send me fan art. That's right, we got a fan art submission this week, boys and girls. How about we go ahead and take a peek into the gallery of the Drake? This week's fan art comes from viewer Froggy Fighter, who depicts the Drake meeting his stepdad for the first time. See, after my biological bard dad left to go get a pack of cigarettes, my mom decided that it was important for me to have a masculine figure in my life. But unfortunately, she neglected to tell him about it.
Cringe.
What the hell is that?
Surprise! You are a stepdaddy to a beautiful baby boy.
That's your son? I thought it was a weird dog or something.
He says he wants to grow up to hoard cringe instead of gold. Isn't that special?
Oh, that's, oh, you know what? I totally forgot to pick up some cigarettes on the way over. I'll be right back.
Drake, how many dads are you going to scare away? Cringe.
Thank you again, Froggy Fighter, for submitting your art. If If you'd like to see your fan art featured in Gallery of the Drake, be sure to send it to the email in my About section, or upload it to the official Den of the Drake subreddit, linked in the description. Fan art is my favorite part of doing YouTube, and it means the world to me that I can inspire artists like you to create artwork like this. With the story over and artwork displayed, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and send in your fan art. And if you feel like supporting the channel further, my Patreon merchandise and Gamer Subs affiliate links are in the description. I would like to thank you all for listening, and I hope to see you next time in the Den of the Drake. Alright, I guess I can read some Patreon names before I head to the gas station for those cigarettes. Mr. Sage, Dracor, Karam Archivals, Cam the Badger, Bro Tater Tot, Soul Taker 666212, Gobshite, Nerito Bell, Miramotau, and Matthew Mulqueeny. Alright, time to abandon my son. Thanks, Gigabards. Hey, if you're still here, YouTube thinks you would like this video. I mean, it's probably a banger, but there's only one way to find out. You feeling lucky?